menu we have a Lebanese dish and it's called Mujadara. Some of them call it Mujadara. I can call it Datarara. Anything you want. Anyway, it's a beautiful dish. It's a vegetarian dish, vegan dish, and for anybody else that loves lentils. Basically consists of onions, lentils, and rice. It's an amazing, beautiful dish. We also will add some garlic, some turmeric, some cinnamon. If you don't have a cinnamon sticks, you can use cinnamon powder. And we have cumin and yogurt in the end, and salt and pepper, of course. So the first thing I did was wash the lentils. Wash the lentils really well, and don't use the green or the red lentils, always use the brown lentils. Also be careful, do not use the dark French lentils because they turn into a mush, and all of these will turn into a mush because we're cooking this for quite a while. So the first thing we do is we're taking the lentils and we'll put it on and cook it. When you cook beans or legumes, never ever cook them with salt. The salt goes in later, and one of the reasons is because it'll be your beans or your lentils will take a very long time to cook and they stay hard basically. That would be one of the problems. So we're just gonna start these lentils now. Just gonna put about 3 cups of water on this one. This is, I have about 1.5 cups of lentils. I will share that with you. You do the equal amount of lentils and rice and you double up on the water. That's the best way. It might use more water later on, but we'll see what happens. So we're just gonna cook this for about 20 minutes. Bring this to a boil and then we simmer it. Long grain rice, you can also use basmati rice if you like, that's up to you. You can also use brown rice, but the cooking time will take a lot longer, so consider that when you want to do that. What's important with rice nowadays is you need to wash it really well. And the reason being, it's arsenic. There's a lot of arsenic. Important part of this dish are the onions, and the onions really make that dish. So I have some plant-based oil here, grapeseed oil at this point, but I like to fry them out. Onions, it looks like it's a lot of onions in here, but it's like spinach. Caramelize these onions, and that really makes it. And in order to caramelize them, I'm going to slowly put all the onions in and start cooking them up, but I'm cooking it on low. As soon as everything is in and a little bit reduced. You could use a bigger frying pan. That would work too. But this works just fine right now. The onions have reduced itself. What's really important when you caramelize onions that you don't get them black. You have to be kind of watching them. So I'm going to leave it up on high just for a little bit longer. And I'm going to add some salt. And I'm also going to just use a little bit of sugar. Just a little bit. I'll give it that little oomph that we want. Once the sugar comes out of the onions, they'll be nice and brown. And that's what we want. So what I do now is just put a lid on it. I'll turn it down. And every so often you want to stir it and make sure that it's not burning. So I'll just turn it a little bit down. Our lentils are cooking nicely here. One of the things you could also do with lentils is soak them a couple of hours. I don't think it's necessary because they cook very fast. So if you cook them in plenty of water, that's fine. You don't need to soak them. If some people like to soak them, you go right ahead and do that, but it's not necessary. If you do soak them, keep the soaking water from the lentils and use that. About another 10 minutes and then we come back. Our lentils are still a little bit tough, but that's exactly what I want, and I will put in the rice. But before I put in the rice, I will put the cinnamon in, some turmeric, and again, you can put any if you want to use chili or put any kind of spices in as long as you have cumin. Cumin and coriander is very important in this dish, and of course garlic. We need to add that. And just give it a stir. This is a beautiful dish. I mean, you could actually get addicted to this dish. It's so gorgeous. Now we're adding our rice. washed rice, the same amount as lentils. Of course, you can add more or less depending what you want. Stir this up. I'm going to put another cup in here. Lid on again. Turn it down to simmer, and that'll be about 25, maybe 30 minutes depending on the rice, depending how this whole thing is working. In the meantime, let's have a look at the onions. As you see, some of them are starting to caramelize already. You can never have enough onions for this dish. It's really important. So I'm going to turn this down as well, and then give it a few stirs. And that's it for now. We're coming right back. So our dish, our rice and lentil is almost ready. We're going to dish that out in a minute. We're just going to wait. You see the onions are starting to caramelize just nicely. This is now, you can't leave right now. You just want to stay with it because you want to get it a little bit browner. One of the things that you could also do is put the whole thing in the oven and then just finish it. Start it on the stove top and then put it in the oven about 300 to 350 degrees, and from time to time stir it, have a look. It'll be about 25-30 minutes. But I like to have it on the stove top. It's a lot more fun to look after it. So it's starting to slowly get a little bit brown. As you can see, the onions have really reduced a lot. Mujadara, there it is, a beautiful dish, something that you could crave in the morning to have at night. Absolutely gorgeous. Vegetarians, vegans, anybody that likes lentil and rice, this is beautiful. I will leave in the description box below how much rice to lentils and water you will need, because it does absorb a lot of water depending on the rice that you're using. But most of all, create your own. Take stuff away, add something. Let me know in the comments below how you're doing. Some of you are already answering to me, and that is awesome. I will always answer any of your emails or messages. If you enjoyed this, please push some buttons. I come once a week online with a new idea, with new stuff. Remember, always be fearless in your kitchen.